My guest today is Anna Lanier. I'm very happy to talk to you today, Anna. Thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Nice to meet you too, Rosemary. Thank you.
Yes, for sure. And the first thing I usually like to do, regardless of who you are as a guest, is to ask you to tell us who you are. And yeah, just tell us who you are.
So my name is Anna Lanier, and I am a parenting and relationship mentor, and I'm also an anti-depression expert.
Hmm.
So if there is any help for going deeper into the conversation, this is the main thing that I do. I take teenagers and adults out of depression, but I'm hoping that we're having this conversation so it will not end up to this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And so following up on that, um, a lot of times our experiences lead us to our careers, our purpose, and what we do. So I'm going to dig a little further and ask you, were you a problem teen or did you struggle with depression? Tell us about that.
So it looks like I struggled with depression since the age of 7. I just never knew it, right?
Yeah.
I just never knew it. And I had all kind of problems and health problems and headaches and back problems. And then I had insomnias and migraines.
Mm.
And I had a suicidal attempt at the age of 19 and a half. So I've been through all the stages of depression as a child, as a young adult, and later on, even as a parent myself, as my own child slipped into depression. I am also an adult child of alcoholic.
Mm.
So I have been through that stage too. And because of that, when I overcame depression, and it only took 7 months after 27 years of suffering, I thought that I caught God from a leg. This is what I thought.
You,
I caught
you,
legs God because I got out of depression.
oh
Right?
boy.
This is what I believed. It's like, oh, miracle just happened to my life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the truth is that all this suffering was meant for me to, exactly like you mentioned, exactly like you predicted, to choose my career. And today we're helping teenagers and adults not to get to depression, but even if they do get there, we provide support and help in a different way than therapy or meds or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So, thank you for sharing that. And depression is a weird thing. I know because I've experienced it. I've gotten the pills. I've tried to take all the pills at once, and I've heard a lot of stories about it. But can you tell if you have depression? I mean, what does that look like?
So that looks like pain in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your head is ready to explode
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know which way to go and how to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But that looks like pain in your heart. So the way that most people are experiencing is like they have a deep, deep level of pain. And this is why we as parents, some of us, we forgot that we went through this as teenagers and maybe we were fine. But our kids these days, they're not fine because they don't want to live in that level of suffering where we lived on.
Yeah.
This is an accelerated generation. They wanted everything fast, better, more efficient, 3 clicks and be done.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to live like we did 27 years of suffering, 30 years of fibromyalgia, 3 divorces, heartbroken,
Yeah.
3 times. They don't want any of that. And because of that, we think that, oh, we give them everything they need and they want, and we don't give them exactly what they need. And that is skills to make their life better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. And what kind of skills? Because we know, I know that with teenagers, it's hard to read them and they react to things that we don't understand. So where does it start? I mean, you have a teen and you're having issues with them. Where do you start to make inroads into getting to them before they start, this?
So where I start is understanding your teenager.
I'm sorry.
Okay. By understanding your teenager.
Okay.
What does a teenager want? A happy and easy life. That's all they want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if you cook 3 times a day or only 1 time a week. They're going to find something to eat. It's fine if it's not their favorite food, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they go to video games, we already know that they don't want to play the game in this world. They want to play a virtual game. Why? They're not ready to play this game in this world.
All right.
They're not. They either have social anxiety, or they're afraid of something, or they don't know how to manage their emotions, right? So the first thing that I teach parents is how to identify each level where the child is. Is the child withdrawn? That means that they have a lot of pain in their heart. Is the child angry? That means they don't know how to use the fire, the drive. They don't know how to manage their emotion and go to the identity level. Is the child disrespectful and disobedient? That means that they don't trust the parent. That's why they disrespect the parent, because the parent doesn't know how to teach them what they need, right? They do video games. They definitely prefer to have unlimited lives. They don't want to mess up with this one because they don't know how. So this is the first thing we're teaching. The second thing we're teaching is how to rebuild your relationship with your teenager. So everybody considers teenagers, I do, you do, probably as extension of you and your spouse, or you or your ex-partner, right? Or the father or whatever, right? So you consider a child an extension of two people, when there are actually 4 types of men in the world and 4 types of women in the world. And that child could be totally different than you or your husband. Might have physical characteristics, might have some, behavioral characteristics, but could be the way they think, the way they act, the way they value things totally different. So we teach them practically all of these steps. Why? So they can mind read their teenagers. So they know what teenager is trying to tell them before the teenager is opening their mouth.
Yeah.
And when you know that, when you have that power over your kid, you can change him and transform him or her the way you want to, and they don't even realize it.
Wow. Magic.
Magic happens when you can read somebody's mind.
Magic. Certainly magic. Oh, wow. Thank you for explaining that. So that's the work you do and, help mothers, well, parents and their teens, right?
This is one of the part we do. But here is the following. So we teach the parents how to manage these relationships, how to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they teach their kids. And when they teach the kids, miracles happen. I'll give you an example, my darling. So we had somebody, her name was Angela. She was in depression during a divorce. The father didn't want to pay child support. He was due $800. He was over for a year and a half not paying, trying to avoid it and stuff like that. So she went through my depression programs. I explained all this relationship thing with her, right? And she decides by her own to explain it to her daughter, 7 years old. I never gave her the approval. So she explains to her daughter, your father is air. We usually work with 4 elements when I talked about 4 types of men and women: water, fire, air, and earth. So we can all speak the same language, so I can, maneuver the clients in the right direction with their kids and themselves. So she explains to her daughter, 7 years old, your dad is air. Like, what does that mean, Mom? That means he's colder, but he loves you to death. He just doesn't know how to express these things, okay? He's not like our other daddies, hugging and kissing and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. He loves you. He would give his life for you and stuff like that. He's colder. This is the type of man he is. The girl goes to daddy and tells him, Daddy, you're air. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not working for the military. I'm not a pilot. What do you mean I'm air? Oh no, mommy explained to me that, you're colder. You don't kiss us and hugs us so much, but you love me to death and you would give your life for me. Oh, your mom told you that? Yes. The man started crying. He felt understood for the first time in his life.
Oh, wow.
This is a man that doesn't cry. Air people don't cry, ever. They don't even have feelings, okay? So at the next divorce appearance, he gave her $2,000 in child support with one condition: to see his daughter anytime he can, because he was in business trips and he couldn't do every other weekend and stuff like that. And since that moment, they get along better when they're getting along since they were married.
Wow.
This is the power when you teach your child, okay, and you teach exactly that each person values life in a different way. That doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just they have a different value in life. They have a different personality. That doesn't mean they're bad for you or bad for somebody else.
Right.
So this is what we're teaching teenagers and adults. And this is how we even help people, out of depression, because they never knew these skills. They always feel attacked by someone. Him or her hurt me. Right. No, they have different values. They think the different way. Yeah. They're not here to purposefully hurt you. They're just different.
Right, right.
So these are types of skills that we're teaching.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. I like that perspective. And it reminds me of another guest I had on, and they talked about how to teach the teenager, and I lost my train of thought, but but it was that, in dealing with the teenager and how to understand how they themselves are, how they think, how they value relationships, and how parents can understand how these teenagers value those relationships. So this is new for me, and probably new for a lot of my listeners. But it seems simple enough to adapt and to incorporate into parenting our teenagers.
Yeah, so relationship is everything in life, right? So people come to me after years of therapy. It's like, oh, my kid likes more of a therapist. I'm like, that's not okay. Okay? Because today's the therapist is a crutch, and tomorrow is going to be a narcissistic abuser, and after tomorrow is going to be a verbally abuser. And poor kid is going to look for crutches or his or her life to be emotionally balanced. So it is better that the kid listens to you, okay, from your advice. So when we're teaching these relationship skills, the priority is to reestablish your relationship with your child. I am not the one teaching them. I'm teaching you and you teaching them. So you reestablish that relationship, number one. Right. And the second thing, this will give them skills how to maneuver life, because everything is relationships. It starts with a relationship with your parents. Okay. But then everything else in the world is relationships, and you can easily slip in bad ones. Okay. 4 elements, water, fire, air, and earth, also have a negative part in it, right? So you can easily pick and choose those if you don't know what to do. And then you end up with a disastrous life, back in depression. And who you blaming? Your parent, because the parent didn't teach you these skills.
Yes.
Okay. So here we're trying to avoid and prevent any kind of problems, giving the kids the necessary resources to be stable, to be foundational. And sometimes even my child is asking me, he's 14, Mom, who am I right now? I'm like, you're between fire and air, and you can't make it to earth until you are not more persistent and you keep on being consistent. Oh, that's what I need to do. Yeah. And he just gets it.
I like that.
I mean, that's simple. These kids understand faster than we do as an adult. We work all that. We take them 2 minutes and they're like, oh, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. I like that. I think that I could see how that could be a real benefit to the teenagers learning that skill. One, to the communication between, like you said, the parent and the teen, but also in going forward in their other relationships, or they build relation, get to be adults, and hopefully the girls won't end up in those bad relationships they usually find themselves in, because they don't have that foundation. So I really, really do like that.
Lately, we see a lot of girls being extremely angry. So we see actually men slipping into withdrawn and problems with depression and getting into bad relationships. And we see girls being extremely angry, or having social anxiety, which is the other side of anger. Okay. And this happens because it's a lot of pressure on girls in this society, right? And because they don't know how to feel protected a lot of them, they haven't been protected from their fathers. Like, for example, me, I was abandoned by my father. I never felt protected by my father, right? So no wonder I turned angry, right? When you approach a relationship by being angry, it's going to be a messed up relationship. So this is why we're trying to form these relationships, before they get to adult, because this sets their emotional balance.
Yep.
There is anger, there is worry, and there is anxiety. These three things are going to pop onto their life if they don't have good, perfect relationships with their friends and others, right? And then you go to the second skill we need to teach them. What do you do when you're angry? What do you do when you're worried? What do you do when you have anxiety, right? And these two things, relationships and emotional balance, will set your mindset. And then you're wondering why we're talking about mental illness. We're talking about mental illness because it's actually a trap.
Yeah.
It's a trap between relationships and emotional balance that you don't have.
Right.
And when it sets up in your brain that I can't, I'm not good enough, or I can, but I have a bunch of excuses why not. And this is it. And then you go down the road where is no return, right? Where it takes you 10 years to figure out you're depressed minimum. For me, it took 27. Okay. Or when you have a child that ends up depressed and you're wondering why, because they fall into these mind traps.
Yes.
So this is why we're teaching skills, practically skills. So you can have an easy, better life and don't live in suffering, because that's not normal. Suffering is not normal.
Exactly. All right. Thank you very much. And so how does someone get in touch with you to learn about, to engage in the process of learning about how to, detect who they are first and then learn these other skills?
Yes, because to master the game of life, you need to master it first and then to teach it to your kids. Yeah. We have everything on our website is for free. Okay. So it's either annalanier.com, which nobody knows how to spell, or we have a better website called betteraskAnna with one n.com. There we have 2 free courses: how to get a child out of depression, how to get an adult out of depression. These are free courses, the entire map that I use to get people out of depression. We have 2 classes, free online classes. One of them, Parenting Teenager Secrets, and the other one, Healthy Relationships Formula. These are free classes that we have every other weekend usually. And we also have a small service that I found extremely useful for people who have one question. So on betteraskAnna with one n.com, you can ask Anna one question. So practically you can text us your question with your name and your email. And within a few days, I'm going to give you an answer between 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm going to tell you what's the next step in your journey. Okay. We found this extremely useful. You'll be surprised how many people, we just opened this service last week, and they started flooding us with questions because they don't want to make mistakes in life with kids or with their spouse, or they don't want to divorce too soon, or they want to know if there is any possibility of, rebuilding their relationships, or they don't want to just, make decisions just because one stupid person said one thing and the other stupid person said another thing, and they don't know how to solve a problem, right? So here they have a free advice from me to answer one question, and we found this extremely useful.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I'll put the links in the show notes so people could have access to it. Yeah, sure. What is Anna grateful for today?
Anna is grateful for today for podcasters like you that raise awareness that there is help out there. When 1 million people kill themselves every year from depression, from suicide, from being sad, there are people like you that take their time and effort to put together material to show others that it's possible to even prevent these conditions.
Oh, thank you for saying that, and thank you for sharing. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Now you're making me blush. Thank you, Anna. All right. So, I do appreciate you coming and talking to me today. Do you have one piece of advice for a solo mom raising teens, for example?
If you have questions, ask. Okay, we have that free service for you. Ask. Don't make things like sending your kid to therapy, behavior hospitals, ignoring them. Don't make these kind of steps when you don't understand all the
Right.
picture. We have a tremendous amount of free resources. All you have to do is ask a question. Don't be afraid to ask. It's better than to make a mistake and try to fix it up.
Yeah, I like that. Don't just think you're alone and you're the only answer. Or yeah, or give
Exactly.
them to somebody who make a mess.
Yes. Okay. So ask will give you the exact advice what you need to do, how you need to look at the situation. And sometimes you'll be shocked because I'm not telling you what your girlfriend is, but doesn't know anything about the stuff. But I'm telling you the truth. So grin and bear
Yeah.
it.
Yep. I appreciate it. We appreciate it because yeah. Thank you, Anna Lanier, for coming and talking to me today. Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.